everyone, Niev here, and today I am going to do a tour of my ritual room, my 2023 tour. And right now I'm looking at the door that I painted. This is not in my ritual room. This is the door that goes to my ritual room. Right now we are in the kitchen, and I'm not showing the rest of the kitchen right now. One, because it's still slightly under construction, but it is almost completed. And two, there are some dirty dishes and things like that around, so I don't want to show the rest of the kitchen right now. All right, so let's walk into my ritual room. Okay, so this, I'm gonna do a quick pan here. All right, so let's step into the room here, and I will turn the camera around so we can see the door. I have not painted this side of the door yet. I've started. As you can tell, I'm going to do something galaxy themed. I'm thinking of putting like a Ouija board right there in the center, and there's probably going to be a Triskel right there, and a 7-pointed fairy star right there, and the rest is just going to be very galaxy themed. So that's what's going on there. And as you can tell, some of the wall has been ripped up. They had to do that to install the dog door during the kitchen reno. So we're going to actually tear apart all the paneling on that wall. The rest of the paneling has to stay because that's basically the wall. There isn't this kind of wall underneath the rest of the paneling because this is it's kind of a covered porch. So it's a kind of a 3-season room, and because of that, this room is not insulated, and that's why I have the heater going in here. Yeah, so, but this wall here connects to the kitchen, so it's all drywall underneath. So we're going to tear up the rest of that, and I'm probably going to paint it like a teal color or something. And yes, probably the same color that I used for these pegboards. So yeah, so, and speaking of this side, right now this is where most of my tarot cards are. I have a lot more than this, so they don't all fit here. Once we get this wall finished and painted, I'm going to install 4 to 6 more of those shelves right there, straight onto the wall, and that will be most of my tarot and oracle section. And there's a dog door, of course, and she goes out that way to our backyard. I'll look real quick. It's snowing right now, so that's our backyard. All right, so let's I guess move clockwise. So right here, I did also hang like a rack thing here, thinking that maybe I might do some hanging tarot decks from there. I'm not sure. I might get rid of that. I might keep it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but anyway. So over here we have mostly some Lenormand decks and some of those small little oracle decks, and I have a picture of one of my daughters right there. And this section right now here, I've kind of temporarily been using as my Lakshmi, not really altar, because I don't have a picture of Lakshmi or any sort of imagery of Lakshmi on here, but my readings that I do with her every Thursday, I've been doing right here. So that's kind of my little Lakshmi center, but I kind of keep a lot of my Hindu related deity work outside of this room for the most part. So this is my small little area where I do a little bit of that. And then over here is my fairy altar, and I quite like this. I have a Scots Lady of the Lake, and this is really lovely. And I can't remember who got me this, but it was found at a garage sale or an antique store or something. But one, my maiden name is Scott, so we like that. And two, this is like super old, and it belonged to someone named Paul Irvin, and he was very young. so these are some of his little drawings in here. And I think it said his age somewhere. I can't remember where, but I think he was like 8 or something. I can't remember, or in like 5th grade. I don't remember, but this used to belong to someone named Paul Irvin. And I have a little bit of his drawings in there. So I just quite liked this thing to be here. This is just an oracle card that came in one of Witch's Moon box. Now this is an oracle card too, but I didn't really care much for the front. I mean, it's pretty. It's not really my thing, but I loved the back of it. So I keep that on the fairy altar. I have a amethyst with some Palo Santo that came in a box. I don't really buy Palo Santo, but it came in a subscription box, so it goes there. And I made this pentacle out of clay and paint a long time ago, probably about 15 years ago or so. And this artwork is done by a 4th cousin of mine. She's an artist, just like me. And she did a whole set of these like willow sprites is what she called them. And I absolutely loved them. So I bought a painting from her and framed it, and it goes on my fairy altar. And now this wand right here is, I forget the wood that this wand is from, but this was a gift given to us right after my husband and I got married, and it came with it was a very special thing for us. And I know it looks like it's just a stick, but there's a lot of importance to this, and it came with some special things, basically as a general blessing for our marriage. And we have been happily married for going on 20 years now. Yeah, we celebrated our 19th wedding anniversary last year, so yeah. And I have a little bottle here. This came in a Witch's Moon box. I don't have anything in it. I think it's meant for potions or oils or something like that. It's like a little like thing here. But I just thought it was pretty, so I just put it here. I haven't put anything in it, and in fact, it's a little dusty right now. All right, so down below is most of my books. These are not all of my pagan witchcraft, Wicca type books. I've been a practicing witch for, gosh, since 1999, so do the math. So, like, I've gone through various different phases. It started out very, 90s Wicca, things like that, which eventually evolved into general paganism and witchcraft, and now my path is very much kind of Irish paganism, and that's what it's been for a while now. So a lot of my books here kind of reflect that. There's a lot of history, mythology books, and into the fairy witchcraft, and specifically the Irish fairy sort of path. And lots of books by like Morgan Daimler, and we have Morpheus Ravenna, and things like that. I also have a lot of some Welsh stuff here, as well as Scottish stuff, so some of it's questionable. But yeah, it's kind of a collection of the 20 plus years that I've been a practicing witch, pagan, whatever you want to call it. And so some of these things are a little bit I've gone past, and some of them are current. So there we go. So that's a lot of the Celtic, and I say that term very loosely, but Celtic sort of paths are right up here. Mostly Irish, some Welsh, and some Scottish. And then down here, we kind of have this, I don't know what we would call it, like cottage green hedge witch stuff down here. Yes, and there we go. And I do have this book. I was interested in learning more about hoodoo, not to practice myself because, but just learning about it. And I still haven't read this book. I would like to, though. And these are all a lot of the artwork that came in the Witch's Moon and Witch's Roots box. So that's what's there. And then over here, we have a lot of like garden-y type herbal stuff, and going into a little bit of crystals, and a touch of astrology, and general like, I guess, magic, spell work, things like that. And then down here, we start the tarot books and stuff. This is not organized in any way right now. There used to be an organization to all these books. I mean, and there's kind of a general organization right now, but I mean, it used to be by author and, you know, subject, then author, and then title. It was very organized, and I just went through and quickly cleaned during winter break here. So, so that's and there's a lot of books for specific tarot decks here, and tarot spells, tarot activities. There's more tarot books I'd like to get. And I just also want to say that I have a big library of digital books as well. So there's actually a lot more of the stuff by Morgan Daimler in my Kindle, and Laura O'Brien, and those type of people. Yeah. So anyway, so let's and then down below is kind of just some storage. Yeah, it's like empty tarot boxes. There's plates that I do spell work on, that's in there. There's a lot of the pamphlets that came in Witch's Moon boxes. So kind of just some junk, honestly. But so just storage stuff that I really shouldn't go through those. So over here, we got this section here. Let me push in this chair. Okay, so we can see here. So this is kind of my general altar. It's not to any specific deity. It's kind of just my witchcraft altar. And I kind of call it my working altar because it is the altar that I pull out. It's an octagon, and I'll put it in the center of the room during a ritual or something and work from there. And we have the Yule goat that came in that Yule box, along with this Green Man type figure that came in that box. So yeah, that's quite nice. So I was starting to do I was interested in studying fairy witchcraft, and by that I mean Anderson fairy witchcraft, F-E-R-I, or now they are using the spelling F-A-E-R-Y. Yes. And I was interested in potentially, experimenting with that, seeing if this is a path that I feel interested in or called to. So that's actually what the black candle is for. I never lit it. It's been over here, and it's kind of dusty now too, because I wanted to start going down that path, but yeah, so I just never went down there, and my path has gone very much into the Irish pagan area, and that's, yeah, but I'm still interested in kind of reading about it and things like that. So this one here is my first one that I made when I was a teenager. It's an oak branch that I tied a quartz crystal to the top, and it is with hemp here. Yeah, and this is it's kind of been my working wand for the entire time I've been a witch. So I am quite connected to it. This key came from the Temple of Witchcraft, which is local to me. They had I think it was a couple years ago, some sort of community ritual that these were given to us as gifts. So there we go. I'm not going to go through everything on my altar. I have an athame. I have a circle of mostly selenite, actually, with some stones and a snuffer and some geodes there, and a gold and silver candle for sun and moon. I don't do god and goddess sort of thing, like that very Wiccan-y goddess thing. But I do like sun and moon, so I've always kept a gold and silver candle on my altar. So there we go. And up here is a work in progress. So right now I'm housing a bunch of my other tarot decks until we get a more permanent location for them. And then right here is a temporary ancestor altar. In fact, I still have a candle going because I did my ancestor reading this morning. I'll discuss that later, but these are not permanent locations for these items. I'm kind of planning on putting a lot of Welsh shrines up at the top for some of the Welsh deities that I do follow. I mostly follow Irish deities, but there are some Welsh deities that I also follow, so I'm thinking about putting them right here. And yeah, so this is kind of a work in progress. Here is another picture of my daughter. I'll move her out of the way here so we can see this. This is an awesome like astrological, alchemical symbols that came in a witch's moon box, and I really like it. Here is some saved incense ashes. I've got, this came in a witch's moon thing. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use it, but I put it there for the time being. And a little mini Ouija Altoid tin, which I quite liked. So I just put that there too. All right, so I'll just put my picture of my daughter back on there. Yeah, so that's that section. And now here is the window and my main tarot, or my work table, really. Now I made these curtains. Let me close these real quick so we can see. And I have like fairy lights hanging down from this. Here we go. And so here's the sheer curtains that I made, and the actual curtains themselves that I'll pull closed. Yeah, so I made these, and they have lots of different symbols on there to represent my different paths. So I have a seven-pointed fairy star, a triskel, an ohm, another 7-point, yeah, and those are the 3 symbols I have there. So there we go. And then I do still very much connect with the pentacle energy, so that's what the sheer curtains have on them. All right, and the same thing on the other side. Oh, and the little ribbon across it is pentacles. So, all right, and this is the table that I made. I painted this myself, and there's on the leaves we have the 2 moons, and in the center we have a nice big pentacle. That is a symbol, even though my path has moved away from like Wicca, I've always felt very connected to the pentacle, so that is what is there. Underneath is like a little ottoman, and I have another one over here. So the ottoman is for my feet when I'm sitting at this chair. Sometimes I move the chair over here, and this is also where I do pretty much all of my filming for the tarot videos and things like that. I'll often move the chair over this way and sit this way and looking out the window. Yeah, and I will say though that I don't like these ottomans. They're very pretty, but they are not very sturdy. They move around constantly. I want to get new ottomans that are a lot more sturdy. And that ottoman there is where I kneel sometimes when I do some of my deity work over there. So speaking of over there, right here's my heater. Let me move it out of the way. Oh, it's so nice and warm getting right up to this. Like I said, this room is not insulated, so I really rely heavily on my space heater when it's the winter months. All right, so up here I've got some more tarot and oracle decks here, along with this is a set of runes. This was a witch's oracle that came, like charm casting thing that came in a witch's moon box. Here's some OM cards, some extra oracle cards back here. These are my OM staves. Both of these are OM staves. And some decks here. Yep. So the rest of this is kind of some storage for a lot of the oils and things like that I keep getting in Witch's Moon and Witch's Roots boxes. And I mean, they're kind of haphazard right now. There's not really a lot of organization. The bigger jars were moon water for each month. But, you know, and I would do them for each astrological sign that they were in, but I think I want to empty them all out and just start over, start fresh. And a lot of these are empty because I used to make a lot of like tinctures and things like that, but there's nothing in these, and that was a long time ago, so a lot of these are empty. And then a lot of these came from Witch's Moon. All right, so that's what's there. Now, and these are some decorative like potion bottles that I just liked. All right, so now is the Irish altars here. Now, I have 4 main deities that I honor on a daily basis. So every morning I come over here and I stand and I say Majanwa Alu, which means good morning, Lou. And then I come over here and I say Majanwa Avrij, which means good morning, Bridget. And down here I say Majanwa Andagda, good morning to the Dagda. And over here I say Majanwa on Morgan Namrinya, which is good morning to the Morgan and the Morgans. So yes, and that's what I do every morning, and weekly I do a little reading for each. Now I do have a nice altar cloth for on Morgan that I made, but I just washed it, so it hasn't gone back up yet. So I'll show this real quick. So on the back side is just this fabric here that has a lot of like crows or ravens, and I just thought it was pretty. And then on the front side, I did a full embroidery of various crows and ravens with some Celtic knots. And I went with the colors of on Morgan, which is mostly the red, black, and white. But she has often shown up for me with some purple in. I don't know if it's like a purple or a really dark blue, but I interpret it as purple, so I've added purple into this, and I also have a matching bag that I made for the Crow Tarot, and it's got that same ribbon here. And I also have the Morrigan cards by Morpheus Ravenna, and this was my latest reading I did with on Morrigan. I have some shot glasses representing each aspect, each of the Morrigans here, and that's kind of what my main offering dish is for all of my deities is shot glasses. And if you notice, they're all like from animes, which of course has nothing to do with Irish culture. It's more of a personal thing for me. So I put animes of characters that I think really represent each of these deities in a way that makes sense for me. So I really like Totoro for Ondagda, and for on Morgan for Namrinya we have Princess Mononoke Sango from Inuyasha, and No Face from Spirited Away. So I quite like those. And of course for Lou I have Inuyasha because I thought that was perfect for Lou. And for Breach, I have Kagome from Inuyasha. So there we go. All right, sorry, I had to pause this real quick because my husband came out and I chatted with him for a minute. All right, so yeah, so those are my main 4 deities. Now over here, I actually have some stuff for another deity. This is for Anya, which there's actually some oil here that came in Witch's Moonbox, which I thought was perfect. And this is the candle I use for her. Now I don't honor her too often, but not as much as my main 4, but I do honor her sometimes. And I have some extra stuff here. Here's the Miroku shot glass that came with all the Inuyasha ones. But he is a character that I don't particularly like, so because it could have been perfect. I could have had Inuyasha, Kagome, Sango, and then Miroku, but he's really not representative of Ondagda at all, and I just love the Totoro for Ondagda. So yeah, he's right there. And I used to have Haku representing Lou, but once I got the Inuyasha in, I thought that was perfect for him. So those 2 are right there. Now up at the top, I'm trying not to fall over the heater here. I don't have much because it's kind of a work in progress. There's not much up there right now. There's this like crow raven thing that came in a Witch's Moonbox that honestly I don't really like it, but it's there. And this is Danu, the goddess Danu, and she just kind of sits right there. Yeah, I've had that statue for probably 15 years. But I do plan to put more Irish deities up at the top of this ledge at some point. And they'll kind of be the same sort of thing as my Anya setup here, where it's not big like these four. They don't all get their own separate thing here. It's just going to be kind of a wall of Irish deities that I can honor and yeah, like I don't know what the right word that I'm saying here. So yeah, so those are my main deity shrines. Now down here is a bunch of, like, it's a little messy down here. Let me get this ottoman out of the way here. So I have basically journals, books of shadows, compilation type books here. Like, you know, I have a witch's Bible by the Farrars, and a lot of these are some old stuff that I've had for probably 15 to 20 years. Or a little less, maybe. Some of my old books of shadows, like this thing here. I would love to find another one of these. Oh, it's stuck underneath. There we go. Oh, so like this is a really nice book. And this is like super old. Yeah, I'm not going to show much of this, but yeah. But this was probably from high school, actually. So it's really old. I am old. So, but I love the book itself. I think maybe someday I might take out all the pages and keep the outside and kind of create something new from it. Because I did really like this book, and I can't find this anywhere else. So, so yeah, that's that. And we have a few more notebook type things. I think this was my husband's. And yeah, I think that was my husband's Book of Shadows when he started. When we met, he was into Wiccan stuff, but he's not down that path anymore. So yeah, I just have stuff like that. And here's a smaller version of that thing, which I quite liked. And I have a bunch of stuff in here. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. So, oh, yeah, I don't think I want to show a lot of this stuff, but, yeah, so, and then I have a bunch of blank journals here. This was a, Ogham book that I was making, but a lot of it's kind of bad information because it was from many years ago. Yeah, so, yeah, so there's a bunch of the journals here, and I kind of made a mess going through this right now. Oh, I love this one. This is my, a Star Trek journal I got several years ago. This was during when Think Geek was still a thing, and I've just been holding on to it because I didn't want to ruin it. I didn't know what to put in it, but now that I have the Star Trek Tarot, the original series one, I'm going to use this to basically do a deep dive of that deck and come up with my own sort of interpretations of each of the cards. And yeah, so I'm really glad I held on to this, and it's like the perfect cover. It's Uhura on here, and the deck itself is original series, so it works perfectly. Now, I have some quarter candles here, the blue, red, yellow, green, because I do, there are aspects of my path that are still quite, I mean, I guess Wiccan-y. And I do like to, when I do a full ritual, I do like to do the quarters, and I have special candles for that. Now, down at the bottom, there is some, you know, journal type things down there, but it's mostly excess herbs, because my herb cabinet is over here. But I decided this, just a few days ago. I'm going to get rid of all of my herbs, because all of these herbs are many years old, and I have way too many. I bought a huge bulk thing many years ago, and it was kind of a stupid purchase. I should just cut down my herbs to the ones that I actually use and keep them kind of small so that, you know, they don't become years and years old and never get used. So I'm going to get rid of all of my herbs, and maybe only one basket will hold excess herbs. So yeah, so let's move over here. This is just a pretty thing that came in one of the Witch's Moon boxes. Kind of like it. Look how pretty the snow is out there. This is our balcony. Yeah, it's getting all snowed on out there. So over here is my herb cabinet, which we are getting rid of. Yes, and up at the top, I have a few more tarot decks. And then my Book of Shadows that I created a long time ago. It's a total mess right now. I created this cover for it, and I love the cover, and I think it's very, very pretty. I think I might want to make a new one though, but I really want to completely rework my my Book of Shadows. We have some empty jars here. These came in like a kind of like a Hello Fresh box, I believe, and I just like the containers, so I kept the containers. I put some conjure rice in here that I got from an Etsy shop that I don't think is around anymore. This is my thing of stones, and I did create this. I went to a pottery thing and made my own. It's not very good, but it's got astrological symbols all around it, and then some stars, and a little kind of triple moon thing here. Now I don't do Maiden Mother Crone. I don't follow that, but I have always felt connected to the triple moon symbol, and I have an astrological connection to that. I really just see it as a moon connection. Yeah, so I don't buy stones anymore, and I don't really work with a lot of stones, honestly. But these are all the stones I have owned over my 20 plus years of practicing magic, and stones that come in via subscription boxes, things like that. I have a mortar and pestle here, and here is my like stamp wax sealing kits. I have, this is a Triskel, which is quite nice and useful, and I have a few others in here. Yes, these, oh, here is the tea set that I got for Christmas. This is from Tea with Karen, and this is my Alice in Wonderland theme set. I want to be very careful. And in here is actually the tea set that came in one of the Witch's Moon boxes. So I do like tea leaf reading. And here's a sword that I just keep right here. Yeah, so that's that section. Now, this is my herb cabinet. The drawers themselves are super, super full. And a lot of the drawer, I've been putting the herbs that come in Witch's Moon in here. So these I will keep. But these are getting real full. Oops. This one gets stuck all the time. And these are empty bottles. There's nothing in there. And some more in there. So the cabinets themselves, I'm going to very carefully open these because this thing has been broken for a long time. And there used to be, because this used to hold DVDs. And when we stopped using DVDs for the most part, you know, moving more into the digital age here, I converted this into a herb cabinet, and it kind of worked perfectly because, I mean, look how beautiful that is. All the herbs just kind of fit perfectly in there, and it was very, very nice. And then I would put like tea stuff over here, but these open shelves are broken constantly, so I have to be very careful opening this unit because all the stuff that's on the shelves themselves, the door shelves, will fall off. So it's kind of become very impractical, and yeah, and I don't use it hardly at all anymore. So I want to get rid of all of my herbs, and I want to get rid of this unit. And oh yeah, see, I almost knocked stuff down that's in here. So yeah, and right here is a little bit of a mess because I've got an easel here, and my Satan bag, and my trash can here, and just some construction stuff. And this tower here is where I keep my herbs, or not my herbs, I'm sorry, my candles and my incense. That was the word I was looking for. Candles and incense is where I keep all that stuff in here. So really nice, color coordinated in there, like by different candle color. These are all the candles that I've gotten from Witch's Moon, Witch's Roots boxes. Here's our bags and ultra cloths and tarot cloths. And then baby wipes to clean my hands when doing spell work or whatever, working with oils and herbs and stuff, and a cord apparently, some stickers and some tea lights. So that's, and it's a little messy in here because we've had so much construction going on. So this is a little bit of a mess right now. And it will look better over time. We're gonna replace that unit with, there's gonna be a corner unit here, and then a unit here, and a unit here on either side of the corner unit. And then that's going to probably stay right here, actually, or a little bit more in front of that side panel. So that's what's going there, and my ancestor altar will go over here, and there will be more tarot sections and things like that. So that is the plan for the future for this spot. So right now this spot is a little messy. There's a lot going on. Yeah, but it'll look better over time, and I'll get to painting this door and having it look as lovely as it looks on the other side. Yeah, so I think that is it. Yep, I'm just doing a quick walk through, like look through, see if I forgot anything, and I don't think I did. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.